Man, am I a kizzo or am I squiddo? Wow, it's been like 4 months since this game's release. Time seems to go around quickly. Anyway, welcome to this special playthrough Iwata VGXL review, and today I'm going to look at one of the last major projects through the eyes of Satoru Iwata, and one of the most creative games created by the great Shigeru Miyamoto, Splatoon. This game was revealed in last year's E3, but at the time Iwata was too ill to attend, but the game was showcased anyway thanks to Miyamoto-san. The game was reduced to typical FPS violent tones dramatically in favour of a more child-friendly experience with ink ammunition in lieu of gore and bullets. When the game was released, it was generally given a positive reception, with the critics and Nintendo fans praising the game for its presentation, refreshing gameplay ideas, the soundtrack and the unpredictable multiplayer mode, but criticising the lack of content in the game's initial release and some matchmaking modes. But this was a game to revitalise the already tired and stale shooter genre, as well as selling over 1 million copies as of the end of June 2015. Possibly not a lot more by the end of September this year. But how does this game fare? Well, let's get this review fired up and ready to go. So to start off, here is the gameplay. The game is a third-person shooter with some major tweaks added in, such as this time, instead of firing bullets, each gun now fires ink and sports their own setup, so you have variable options available to suit your style, alongside the ability to hide in your own ink in order to not only recharge your ammunition count, but to also stealthily sneak up on enemies to kill them. The main core of the gameplay is the online multiplayer, where you have various modes available, such as Turf Wars, where you and your team have to ink as much area with your colours as much as possible. Splat zones, where you and your team try and hold on to 2 zones of your colour while preventing the rivals from taking any away. Once they steal the zones, your timer will be added with a penalty depending on how much time you secure the zones. And tower control, where you and your team need to control a platform in order to get to the enemy's base while the rivals try to stop you and take it themselves. Alongside a recently released Rainmaker mode, which allows you to destroy any enemies while getting over to a certain part of the enemy base in order to capture it. I have to say that both Turf Wars, Splat Zones and Rainmaker modes are really extremely fun, are currently my favourite modes of the online matches, and they really seem to be unpredictable at times, but in the end the fun factor is what counts for these modes. Tower control on the other hand is basically unfair at times, and sometimes can be a bit too one-sided, as at times the rivals keep having the sniper rifles and one shot deals instant death, and I believe the balancing in that mode is a bit naff. But other than that, the game is still fun regardless. When you do finish a match, you are given a result based on whether you lost or won, and most of you get cash and EXP points depending on how well you did. The coins can be used to purchase new gear such as shoes, shirts and tops, headgear and new weapons. Each weapon has specific abilities such as high rate fire weapons that deal low damage but suppress enemies better, charger weapons that can be used to snipe enemies, and even rollers that can be used to splatter ink in front of the player and even deals a one-hit splat whenever you run over a rival. Each piece of gear will give the player unique abilities from the online multiplayer matches, such as faster running speed or swimming speed in inkling form, better defense, detecting any hidden mines in rival ink colors, and even an ability in which after a rival splats you, they get exposed to your team. These abilities will help you in the heat of the battles and hopefully benefit for the better. The game also has regular updates that give out free DLC in terms of new versions of existing weapons with differing loadouts and new types of weaponry, new maps, and of course new game modes for the ranked battles. Alongside the online multiplayer is the single player campaign, in which you have to help Captain Cuttlefish recover all the stolen Zapfish that were stolen by the sinister Octolings, and the objective is to suppress the opposition to get to the end of the stage, signified by a Zapfish bowl, by eliminating any resistance along the way. Each level has specific gimmicks, such as getting up an inked wall before cleaner box cut off your path and destroying enemies to proceed further. The levels have hidden goodies such as armor to increase your defensive capabilities, and the special power-ups such as a bubble or Inkzooka, and of course the sunken scrolls that reveal the interesting facts about the Inklings and how they waged war against the Octolings and weapon technology that both factions had. The levels also have power orbs, which can be collected by breaking crates, shooting them with ink, and defeating enemies. You also get a bonus at the end of each level if you keep your armor upgrade and or special intact. The power orbs can be used to increase the splatter shot's fire rate, ink capacity, and even purchase sub-weapons such as the boost bombs and seekers, and even upgrade the sub-weapons power and effect. The game also has the Battle Dojo moves, in which you can go against a friend in a one-on-one battle with an objective to see how many balloons you can pop before time's up. Also, the game has certain weekend events known as Splatfest, in which you can pick a side and you have to go against the opposing side in a rotation of 3 maps and only turf wars. The Splatfest only lasts about 24 hours, and after the results are collected, the winner is revealed by votes and match wins, and the winning side gets these little sea snails which can be used to upgrade your gear from that shady person in the alleyway. The gameplay I'm going to conclude is really fun, and you can have a load of bits until you get bored and turn the game off. When it comes to the level designs, the stages are well designed for the most part, and many have their vantage points, hiding spots and other gimmicks to give out the elements of surprise to your opponents. Those include the likes of Kelp Dome, where you can use the catwalk up above to shoot those below, Black Belly Skate Park, where you can go up to the ramp and snipe anybody, and even the Awana Mall, where there are plenty of opportunities to give your enemies their just desserts. The only one that I could not stand in any of the levels is of course Moray Towers. Why? Not only do you have to go down your side to get to the center, you can take shortcuts to make the journey less aggravating, but you've also got to get up the opposing tower to ink the most territory, and you have to face the opposition, which means you are in danger of being blindsided one too many times. Other than that, the level designs are well designed, and it shows Nintendo's creativity of this game. The presentation for this game is amazing and incredibly colourful and upbeat. The visuals are absolutely wonderful in HD, and they really give out that real upbeat and colourful urban vibe to this game. Everything from the squad ink colours and the characters are really well detailed, and I think Nintendo did an absolute fantastic job with it. The animation is well done as well, and they show off what Nintendo's animation team can do, and the game runs at a 60 frames per second frame rate, with the main hub area and the 2-player mode locked at 30 frames per second. The game's presentation is awesome, and for Nintendo, another thumbs up for their creativity. The audio is amazing as well. The music is a mixture of techno, synth pop, electro pop and disco in the main hub area and the single player campaign, while the multiplayer has a mix of heavy metal, hard rock, Japanese punk and ska punk, basically skateboarding music for the latter. But I've got to say that the soundtrack is great, and the variable genres represented in this is also fantastic. The sound effects are quite great as well, and they seem to fit in the areas of what is going to happen. The voice acting is also interesting to hear as well. Instead of English speaking language, the Inklings and Octolings all have their own native languages that they can speak, and I find that's a refreshing change of pace given that this game was made in Japan. So to sum it all up, the soundtrack is amazing, the sound effects are great, and the voices are interesting. Okay, now it's time to give out what I didn't like about the game. First of all, the matchmaking in this game could have been better. It's not like in certain games where you have to wait an eternity, but having to wait for other players for a match makes the matchmaking a bit of a hit and miss, and at other times there are also connection and server issues which can deter players from playing this game. The game also has a lack of voice chat in it too, although I'm going to generate some hate and say this, But I think Nintendo did a good thing to omit that feature, as it deters anybody yelling profanities at each other to keep this game child friendly. And to be fairly honest, I never ever cared about voice chat in shooters at all. Okay, rant over, time for the verdict. Overall, Splatoon is a great game with so much potential that it unlocks with new possibilities for Nintendo to explore beyond their casual styles. The game is an example of how to make a refreshing change of the shooter genre without going the more dull Call of Duty route, and even making the game more child friendly and colourful. The game does have some setbacks like no voice chat or the average matchmaking, but this game is so fun for me to even care about those issues. The game has got fun gameplay mechanics, amazing graphics, well-designed stages for both multiplayer and single player, absolutely incredible variety of game modes, an enjoyable soundtrack and more. You'll be able to get a load of enjoyment out of this. If you're a kid, squid, and wanting a shooter but tired and bored of the overdone Call of Duty games to death, then this is the game for you, and I hope you will be cherishing one of Nintendo's greatest news franchise for months to come. And so I give this game a 9.2 out of 10. So ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you all for actually taking the time of watching this review. And I would like to say this, what did you think of this review? Do you think this game is well worth it? Do you think this game is better than what DSP thinks? Do you think DSP was extremely biased with this game? And do you think I am much more fair with this game? Well, with that being said, why don't you jot down your comments to think about this? And also, if you liked it, don't forget to actually drop a thumbs up, share this video to your friends, and most importantly, please subscribe for more videos. But with that being said, I'm Mitch McKidd, signing out to say goodnight. Thank you for joining me, and until next time,